Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi on Dr. Mumbi Live. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well and that you're moving into a life that is truly based on your own understanding and research and, explanation of reality, because we're moving into a very, very dark, we're already there. We're not even moving into it. A very dark mental time where there's so much that is being done to manipulate us to take one action or another, and the mental onslaught, the information overload to kind of make us to make the wrong decision. And so much has been done to weaken us mentally and spiritually. So many find themselves flat-footed and unready for this. But I've been getting a lot of questions from people. How do you know you're on the wrong path? How do you know you're on the right path? How do you get onto the right path? How do you know you're in transition? I've done the two videos before. I'll definitely link them to this one, or I'll put them in the comments below, which kind of looks at how do you know you're on the wrong path. And then once identify that and start to shift, you'll now, how then do you recognize you're on the path of transition? But for us who are here, we're here. We're building our new kingdoms and queendoms. We're restoring the destroyed shrines. How did we know? How did we know we're on the right path? I'd absolutely love to hear from you in the comments below. But you're on your destiny path when things start to open up for you. Before you're on the right path, everything is a struggle. Getting money is a struggle. Getting a good relationship is a struggle. Everything seems like an uphill battle. But the minute you get onto your destiny path, things start to ease up. And, the more faith you have, the more that gains momentum. So you'll start to see that if you are in debt, you now have a way, you get an income that now enables you to slowly clear that debt. And that reduces, the pressure, because, debt is a spirit. Mammon is a very deadly spirit, beloveds. If you're not spiritually strong, you can really get into some terrible kind of depression vibes with that. But you just notice that things are easing off, whereas before you couldn't get work. Now different opportunities start to open to you. You also start to notice that whereas before things didn't go your way because people could manipulate. I mean, we live in a world of wizards and warlocks, beloveds, and people are mashing each other up individually and collectively. And so, especially for chosen ones, there's so much that's being done to make sure that you don't start to actually help humanity, and that you'll just be, you'll be distracted and put in fear, etc., until you run out of time in your own mind and basically transition yourself out. Because one thing about the chosen ones, and I think I talked about this in a previous episode, is that we cannot be taken out. Only we can destroy ourselves. And that's something we really need to understand, and understand. And part of the ways we destroy ourselves is participating in certain experiments without the full knowledge of what we're doing. So you'll start to notice that things start to go your way, but also the people who are blocking you, they just don't have that power over you anymore. I've talked about how we live in a narcissistic world, and many of us chosen ones actually came into very toxic, narcissistic kind of family and societal environments that we were supposed to learn from. They weren't, what doesn't destroy you makes you stronger, and that definitely couldn't destroy you because you're here listening to me right now. And so there's so much that we learned from those experiences, but there's so much that those experiences became very sticky, and so they've kept us kind of stuck in a loop, etc. But you notice that the loop starts to straighten itself out, and all of a sudden you're gaining momentum. You're able to now actually just be okay for the first level. Everything, your material comforts are met, or at least your material needs are met, and you feel good. And one thing you'll notice is like a lot of new people start coming into your life, because as I said, once you transition transition from the lower vibe person that you were, those lower vibe friends can't be with you anymore. And so in the process of transition, it's very tricky to accept friends because they'll usually be transition friends that are there to like help you along your transition. So it's never pretty. But once you kind of get into a comfortable new level, you'll find that people who resonate with you, who think more like you, who are into the things that you're into, the diet you've now adopted, etc. Because all of that has to change for you to become the higher man or the higher woman. And you'll notice now that all of a sudden, that starts to change. The kind of people that you're interacting with, the kind of people that are entering your life, etc., etc. You get more allies, people who are more willing to uplift you, big you up, connect you with opportunities, people who are more wholesome and pure. You just notice the different types of people. And the people that walk into your life is a great way for you to test where exactly you're at on your spiritual journey. And then you'll notice that abundance starts to flow more into your life. And not just material abundance, although that is one of the things, but even like joyful abundance. Like you're happier more, you're at peace more, and you find that you're running away from mainstream media and all the social media applications. You're just happy doing just the simple things around your home, around your community, Usually, at this time, many chosen ones are actually busy building their homesteads, building their kingdoms and queendoms, and being prepared for the role they have to take almost very, very, very soon. Let me just put it like that, very, very soon. So you'll notice new friendships will start, and people who feel like soul family, people who will love you, like a love you've never even experienced yourself, through your blood family. You'll feel like these people really have your back, and that is a great relief for chosen ones, because while you're not yourself and while you're coming into yourself, that can be a very lonely space because you feel so misunderstood. You don't have like-minded people, but all of a sudden your spiritual family rushes in, and you even become more aware of the spiritual team that is with you. There's those that are manifested here physically, but your spiritual team also makes itself more known to you. And finally, you just start to love yourself more, and you start to treasure the freedom that you've worked so hard for. You don't take it for granted, and as we are being prepared for next, there are great and mighty things that we are going to do, signs and wonders, miracles that we are going to be put in a position to perform right now, and we're going to become like the supermen and superwomen that we've seen in the movies. But you now start to set boundaries. Very hard boundaries and some soft boundaries. Some people will never come back into your life, and those who are toxic but must somehow be connected to you. Maybe you're divorced, your divorced husband because you share children, whatever the situation is, you now have hard boundaries, and they become a less, they have less energetic pull on your life and on your mental well-being. There's so many more that show you that you've arrived. Your powers start to come online. That's a major one, where all of a sudden your healing abilities start to come online. And the way you notice they're coming online is they start with you first. So you notice now that you start getting remedies to heal yourself, or if whatever your gifts are, they become more accentuated. It's like they come online, and all the information and the resources that you need to fully exercise your gifts now become open to you. There's so many more. If you'd like me to continue on this tangent, let me know. Definitely share in the comments below. What are some of the things that you felt now that you're awakened? How has life changed for you in ways that, it definitely is linked to your awakening process? And many of the things that change are rewards. The thing you always waited for, all of a sudden, starts to appear in your life. But there's also a lot of clearing. But that happens in the transition stage. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.